November 18th is the 2020 NBA Draft, and we are going to be live for every single pick, 1 all the way to 60. We're going to be live an hour before the draft, and we're going to be live for a couple hours after the draft as well. So make sure you subscribe right here, youtube.com/chatsportstv. Make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications here at Chat Sports because we have the best draft coverage you're going to find on the internet. So make sure you subscribe today, youtube.com/chatsportstv. It's in 5 days, Wednesday, November 18th. Make sure you tune in and watch all 60 picks with us here at Chat Sports. Our first question is a super chat coming from El Robo Rick. $5 super chat, by the way. El Robo, I appreciate you. It says, comparing Melo to past and present NBA players, what is Melo's floor and what is Melo's ceiling? So LaMelo Ball, not Carmelo Anthony. I think Carmelo Anthony has hit his ceiling long ago. So we'll talk about kind of LaMelo Ball's floor and really what his ceiling is. Listen, I do believe, I'm a big believer in LaMelo Ball. In fact, I think he is legit. There are people that say he's going to be a bust. I disagree with you wholeheartedly. I think his passing ability and his overall size makes him, honestly, a great player, and it will make him a great player in the NBA. Want to talk about his floor? I'm going to say Ricky Rubio. Worst case scenario, he's Ricky Rubio 2.0. He's a pass-first point guard. That's kind of a veteran leader among teams when he gets down the road. I think that's pretty solid. I would be pretty happy with that. His ceiling, oh man, it's a Jason Kidd-esque guy, a bigger point guard, pass first, that can score and finish around the rim with a bit of a question about his jump shot, right? I think that's pretty good for LaMelo Ball. So ceiling, Jason Kidd-esque. Floor, Ricky Rubio. I think either way, he is worth the second overall pick. Heck, he might even be worth the first overall pick if it weren't the Minnesota Timberwolves picking at number 1. So I'm high on LaMelo Ball. I don't know about you guys. Let's go to 2K player. Do you think the top 2 picks will get traded? I think the Timberwolves will hold on to number 1. I think they're kind of using a smoke screen a little bit with how much they're actually looking to trade that pick. I don't think it'll end up getting moved. I think, getting Anthony Edwards alongside Karl Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell would be very, very solid. I don't think they'll go for LaMelo Ball. I don't think they'll go for James Wiseman. But I think it's very realistic that the Golden State Warriors end up trading their pick at number 2. Look, the Warriors are trying to win now. And if they can get a player that helps them win now more than whoever they take at number 2, they will absolutely do that. But if they decide to keep the pick, that's fine. They could eventually take a guy like a James Wiseman or a Onyeka Okongwu, who I think they should take as a big man if they keep the pick. But, yeah, I think Golden State trades number 2. I think Minnesota hold on to number 1. Let's go to Marty B. Who are some sneaky good players the Warriors could draft in round 2? Ooh, excellent question. Let me refer to my draft board here and see who I have at the end of the second round, or really in the middle of the second round, because the Warriors, they have 2 second-round picks. They have the 48th pick and the 51st pick. Obviously, they have the number 2 pick. Everybody knows that, but not as many people are talking about guys they could find in the second round. So I do have a little list for you ready of guys that I think could fall around that range. And really, when you look at my guys, my best available, 50 to 54, these kind of guys would make sense, right? Devon Dotson is an experienced college player that they could go out and get and help their guard rotation. Yoli Childs is a guy that Boston is looking at a lot in the second round, and potentially the Warriors could too if he's available, a forward that would help them out at their rotation. Reggie Perry is a big man who's one of the best rebounders in this class and a super good athlete. If they want to go international draft and stash, maybe they go Rokas Jokubaitis out of Lithuania, but I don't think that makes a lot of sense for them. However, Marcus Howard, although he's an undersized guard, could be an upgrade over a guy like Kai Bowman. Now, if you want to go a little bit higher on my big board, you can look at guys like Cassius Stanley could be available, potentially a Skylar Mays out of LSU. Peyton Pritchard is one of the best shooters in this draft at Oregon, and although I think he should get picked before that 50th pick or around where the Warriors are picking in round 2, Peyton Pritchard could be a guy that they go with. So any of these guys are some sneaky good available players for them in the second round, and I do want to ask you this. Should the Warriors trade the number 2 overall pick? So we talked about their second round picks, but everybody's more focused on that number 2 pick. Should they trade it? Type Y for yes or type N for no. And if you're a Warriors fan, subscribe right here. YouTube.com/WarriorsTV. Best place to go for all of our Warriors coverage, whether it's draft related, trade related, or free agency related. Make sure you go subscribe today. That link, real simple, YouTube.com/WarriorsTV. Let's go to Jeff O'Baller. Bojan Bogdanovic and 23 to the Warriors for the second pick. Ooh, that is interesting. Bojan Bogdanovic and the 23rd pick. So the 23rd pick from the Utah Jazz and Bojan Bogdanovic for number 2. I still think the Warriors say no. Bogdanovic is coming off an injury. Now, I do think the Warriors should end up trading the pick eventually, but I think Bogdanovic and number 23 is a bit too much of a move backwards if you're the Golden State Warriors, so I would not trade that one, but I would do a trade that got number 2 out of Golden State's hand. They got a more established player. I like Bogdanovic. I don't think he moves the needle for this Warriors team all that much. Plus, whoever you find at 23 is kind of a whatever kind of guy who could potentially fit into the rotation. Maybe if they added future first-round picks, but in this one, I think the Golden State Warriors say no. Interesting trade idea. I haven't seen Bojan Bogdanovic mention any trade rumors, but I do think that is one you're going to have to keep an eye on. So, again, that's Bojan of the Utah Jazz, not Bogdan of the Sacramento Kings, but I appreciate the question there, Jeff. I think the Warriors say no, but it's not too bad. Let's go to another super chat from, I believe this is pronounced Colleen Reed or Colin Reed. Either one, I appreciate the super chat. If you want to get on the show like Colin or Colleen did, send us your super chats. It's really easy. Makes it easy for producer Sam to find them. It says, does Karis LeVert make sense in OKC if they traded CP3 for him, or does a trade for Andrew Wiggins make more sense? That's a good question. I would probably lean, if it's just straight up the player, I would lean Karis LeVert personally. If it is for a player and a pick, I'd go Andrew Wiggins at number 2, but I don't think they're going to end up getting that. So I'll lean Karis LeVert. I think he is, I'm not going to say obviously, but I do think he will end up being the better player than Andrew Wiggins. And when you put him alongside guys like SGA and whoever else they bring in the next few years with draft picks, I think it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, he's coming off an injury, but it's not really that big of a deal. By the way, I see it's pronounced Colin. I appreciate the super chat to tell me how to pronounce your name, Colin Reed. You're the man. Keep those super chats coming. Keep getting your questions in, and we'll keep answering anything you got. But yeah, I'm going Karis LeVert over Andrew Wiggins for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, I'm also going with an NBA mask because it's time to wear one, and we're going to probably get back into NBA stadiums here pretty soon. And when that happens, you're going to have to wear one of these cool masks, and you can find them at this link right here, chatsports.com/NBA mask. Super simple, super easy way to find them. You can get as many as 3 or 4. So that way, if you lose 1, guess what? You still have 3. Or if you lose 2, you still have 2. Or guess what? If you lose 3, you still have 1. So go get yours today at chatsports.com/NBA mask. Yeah, I do math too, believe it or not, guys. So go pick yours up today. Go rep your favorite team with our friends over at Fanatics. Best place to find them. And also, new styles coming out basically every single week. So go check them out. They're up to 30% off for a limited time. You're going to want to make sure you get yours today to rep your favorite team while staying safe all the time at chatsports.com/NBA mask. Now let's go to Jared Tyrell Magagoe. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. That might be a Mitchell Renz pronunciation right there. He says 3-way trade. Andrew Wiggins and the picks go to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Clippers get Chris Paul, and the Warriors get Paul George. So I'll really, really simplify it for you here. Andrew Wiggins and probably the second overall pick going to the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Los Angeles Clippers get Chris Paul back, and the Golden State Warriors get Paul George. If I'm the Warriors, I say absolutely yes 100 times out of 100. PG is better than Andrew Wiggins. He's going to be better, or he is better than whoever you're going to get at number 2. I think the Thunder definitely say yes as well, assuming that's the number 2 overall pick, and they get a young player in Andrew Wiggins. Now, the problem for the Clippers is that I think that relationship between Chris Paul and the Clippers is kind of broken. I know there's been some chatter between CP3 and Kawhi about maybe potentially going back, but I don't think Chris Paul is really super high on going back there. But maybe them upgrading at point guard could make some sense. But ultimately, I think this does not get done because I don't think the Clippers getting Chris Paul is something they really value all that much. Let's stay with the Warriors here and go to Marquise Robertson. Hey, Jimmy, do you see the Warriors getting a veteran like Jae Crowder? You know, the problem is the Warriors don't really have the cap space to go out and get a guy like Jae Crowder. Like, I would like to believe that Crowder is going to go for the veterans minimum or the mid-level, but there's rumors that the Miami Heat are willing to pay him a little bit more. So I don't know if he's going to be willing to really sit back and take that. One guy that I think they could get that is willing to take less money is Danilo Gallinari. I do think they could potentially get him and get a scoring guy off the bench, but I think Jae Crowder might get a little bit more, demand a little bit more than the Warriors are able to pay. But if you want to keep up with all things Warriors and keep up with all things free agency, make sure you go subscribe to youtube.com/Warriors TV. Best Warriors coverage on YouTube. You don't want to miss it.